Welcome to this month's edition of our Market Trends Update, where we're going to really break down the market, all of the numbers as far as inventory, sales, interest rates, and how the market is affecting your home value, your equity position, and what 2021 really looks like. So we're going to kick it off and start with looking at the existing home sales over 2020, and it actually hit an all-time high of 5.6 million transactions in sales, which is up 5.6% at a national level, which is the most that we've seen since the Great Recession. Now, when we look forward and we look at the transaction forecast, here it shows all of the future growth that we're going to have through 2021, where when you look at on more of an average year, that average growth is about a 3% on average, driven by supply and demand. Now, interest rates is always a big topic. And when we look at interest rates and the projection, basically we look at in the orange is the past and the blue is what the current is. And it shows that we're going to continue to have an upward trend going through 2021, averaging about 3% or so, give or take. And today we're probably in that high twos, and we'll probably end up, they're projecting 3 to 5, maybe 3.5 by the end of the year. A lot of different variables, obviously, to look into that. So now when we look at the supply of inventory at a national level, this time last year we actually had 3.5 months inventory on a national level. Today we're at 1.9 months inventory on a national level, and here locally, which we'll break down in a little bit, we're actually much less than that as well. When you look at existing home sales over the last 3 years, light blue 2020, and then you look at the rest of them, we've actually 2020 outpaced every other month in the last 3 years. So again, just and this is on a national level, but very, very vibrant year, a lot of activity, a lot of sales, obviously causing challenges as well, and we'll break that down. So when we look at the consensus of people that are working from home, pre-COVID, it was actually 6% of all Americans were working from home. Now, when we hit the peak in COVID, it went all the way up to 21%, and now we've dropped and settled around that 12% range or so. People really getting settled, people in companies and corporations getting settled in a little more of a hybrid virtual model and figuring out what the happy medium is there, what's going to work for them and their numbers as well. When we look at the top three reasons in 2020 of why people didn't sell their home or list their home, it was financial uncertainty, life uncertainty, and then obviously COVID concerns, whether either being affected by COVID or also potentially the effect of other people maybe contracting COVID and coming and bringing that into their home. So that was the top three concerns when we look at 2020. Periodically, we're asked about forbearance and foreclosure, and how will the foreclosure market affect us here locally, and what those concerns look like. Based upon the percentage of equity that here in the Colorado Front Range and nationally that people have had in the last 5, 6, 7, and even 8 years, it's really lessened the risk and the threat for us. When you look at all of the numbers and people that want in forbearance, 51% actually paid off that mortgage in full. 33% are actually in a repayment or restructured program with their mortgage company, and 15% are still in trouble and trying to figure out how to get out of that. And sometimes that 15% would say, okay, person maybe just bought a home 6 months, 12 months ago. They don't have the equity position that maybe somebody that's been in their home 3, 5, and 8 years, and so now they're trying to get back out of it because of loss of job or whatever tragedy potentially came across their family as well. So when we look at the Housing Affordable Index, we look at this every month. The blue is now, orange was basically the distressed properties that dominated the market historically. Okay, this really this also is driven by interest rates, amount of inventory, and days on market that really controls those variables. So when we look at the percentage of payment for Americans and people here in the national level, when we look at the percentage of payment, when you look at how much they're making versus the percentage of what their payment is, that number has actually dropped. It was historically 21%, and then that number has actually dropped to 14%. So 14% of the average person's income is what their mortgage is, and that's really driven, that low number has been driven down because of increased equity positions as well as lower interest rates, whether people are refinancing or they have a larger equity position when they go into purchasing a new home. So let's break down all of the numbers here in the Front Range and see what they look like. They've obviously been a lot of adjustments, again, due to low inventory and so forth. So when we look at Larimer County, there's 315 homes active on the market now. 264 homes sold last month. That number is actually down by 38%. Average days on the market, 79, with a sales price average of $532. Not a median price, but an average sales price of all of the homes collectively that sold. When we look at days on market, there's actually 0.7% of a 0.7 of a month. So that's looking at about 20-ish days, 20 days on the market in Larimer County. That number is down by 46%. Now, when we look at all of these numbers, which these are all numbers from January. When we look at all of these numbers, is predominantly some of the affected with the holiday and the low inventory and people waiting until after the first of the year. But this is going to continue to affect us for the next 30, 60, and 90 days. So we should see a gradual increase in this, but again, definitely some low numbers. Let's break down Weld County. 416 homes currently on the market. 325 homes actually sold last month. That number is down by 40% compared to the previous month. 67 days, average days on market. 448,000 was the average sales price for last month. And then we're looking at about 25 days inventory on the market. So again, really low, and that number is down by 50% compared to the previous month. Boulder County. 188 homes currently on the market. 133 homes actually sold last month. That number is down by 50%. 63 days, average days on market. 992,000 is the average sales price for all of Boulder County. About 30 days inventory, which the number is down about 29% from the previous month. And then when we look at Metro Denver, 850 homes currently on the market right now. 1,379 sold. When we rewind back to November numbers, there was over 2,400 homes that sold that month, 4,500 homes currently on the market. So significantly different numbers, all driven off of the trickle effect of low inventory going forward. When we look at the percentage of sales versus and sold activity, that number is down by 45% from the previous month. Average days on market, 20%. Average sales price, $613,000. That number is definitely affected by the increase in condo sales and so forth, has suppressed that and brought that number down. If we took out the attached and condos and just look at single family, that number is probably more in that 750 to 800 range. When we look at inventory, you're looking at about 13, 14 days inventory, so incredibly low inventory. We're hoping that number is going to increase. We actually did see about a 30% increase from the previous month, and we continue to believe that these numbers are going to increase. When you look at the market in the industry and COVID, I believe that when COVID hit, there was a lot of builders, developers, and so forth that were very concerned as far as how COVID would affect us, so they put the brakes on. And then when they saw June, July, August, and the market was so robust, they went full throttle as far as getting things going, ramping up, starts and the developments and so forth. But with all of the different communities and all of the government entities shut down, really slowed down that process for them to get their permits and get things advanced through the cities and the municipalities. So we're starting to see we started to see a lot more new construction starts in November, December, and January. So I anticipate we're going to definitely see a spike in new construction inventory when it comes to June, July, August, and then going into the end of 2021. So if you ever have any questions, if there's anything we can do to help you out, and if you're curious of what your equity position is, and we're looking at equity position as far as maybe upgrading to that next home, or maybe you're renting, you're paying $1,200, $1,400, $1,600, $1,800 a month, whatever it is in rent, and want to know how you can take that same amount of monthly allocation and invest that and get into your first home, give us a call. Any one of my team would be happy to help you out. You can always reach us at 720-230-3030, as well as kevinselco.com. Again, as always, we appreciate all the referrals, we appreciate the business. That's how we grow, and that's how we continue to thrive here in the Colorado Front Range and be one of the top teams in the industry. By the way, if you know anybody that's looking to join our real estate team, we're looking to hire some amazing rock stars to continue to build and grow and continue to elevate our service to the next level. So till next month, we'll see you then.